as I've said many times before, we have one L and two T's in Aylett, benaylett.com. That's where you'll also find all of his contact information.
Yes. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening.
Here we go.
The whole bit with Woolworths today, which we were just talking to Barry Urquhart about, from a technical perspective, does that mean they don't have sufficient backup?
What I've managed to glean from the reports all over the place is that it looks like there was an upgrade made at a certain time, and the upgrade failed, and it took 30 minutes for them to roll back to a previous version which was working.
Stupid question. Why would they be doing an upgrade in the middle of the day? Isn't that the kind of thing you do about, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning?
I would. That's what I would do. I'd try and do it sort of out of normal hours.
Most people that I know of, when they've done upgrades, it's usually been about 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Now, once again, they work out if it's going to go pear-shaped, and if it is, they could have rolled it back to the old version, and the customer, for the most part, would have been completely ignorant and unaware of what was going on.
Yeah. You'd think you'd do it that way. I mean, that's how I'd operate it. If I had an upgrade to do, I'd try and have an upgrade window in which we did the upgrade, and if it didn't work, you just quickly roll back to the previous version, and no one's any the wiser. And that's the way I'd do it. So it's really puzzling why this software upgrade seemed to take place in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I've never ever in my life heard of a software upgrade being done to a commercial business in the middle of the day when it's operating. Yeah. That is usually the stuff, as I said, that's done at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's weird, very weird. Yes, I don't get it. It's strange, but it would have been absolute chaos in the IT centre when this all happened, because you can imagine all of the phones would have lit up. It would have gone crazy, because all the stores, all at the same time, would have found the same problem, and the first thing they would have done was call IT. And it would have been absolutely mayhem.
So every store's trying to call IT. Yeah. IT were busy trying to do the upgrade anyway.
IT probably already knew about the problem. They said, okay, so is it up? No. Oh dear. Okay, brace for the calls. Here they come.
Why wouldn't you also do it in a way that you might get some sort of indication if there's going to be a problem?
Look, sometimes it's not easy to do that. Sometimes when there's an upgrade, and we don't know exactly what was being upgraded. We don't know what was being upgraded. So it could have been absolutely anything that they were upgrading somewhere in the chain. So it could have been a server right at the end of the database, right at the end, or it could have been a firewall, or it could have been another piece of network equipment, or another computer.
And they do that during the middle of the day when all their stores are trading.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, how silly are these people?
Yeah, I'd be interested to find out where the IT department was that was making the change. Were they actually based in Australia?
Are you wondering if they were based overseas?
Maybe. It wouldn't be the first time I've heard of an overseas IT operation. It would make perfect sense to me. So let's see, 4 p.m, and that was 4 p.m. our time, or 4 p.m?
I think it was 4 p.m. Eastern.
Eastern time.
So okay. 2 p.m. our time.
2 p.m. our time. So it could have been a network operations centre, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the Philippines or even further east.
The Philippines time's pretty close to ours.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, it could have been something a little later, so it could even be London or some other network service provider that was based somewhere else in the world. I mean, it could even be the United States, because they do have network operation centres out there, and they might look after Woolworths too. So that's what might have happened. Very, very strange.
Yeah. Philippines, same time as us.
Yep, okay. Oh, it's not the Philippines then.
But even at
2 p.m.
If it was, why wouldn't they then do it? Let's say, for example, if you're in the United States, you get them to do it. I mean, at some point you'd have to think that they would say this needs to be done at whatever time is the middle of the night in Australia, so you'd be told. Yeah, local time, whatever.
You'd think so. Yeah, it's weird. Very, very strange.
It is. Yeah, speaking of things that are, well, it's not really strange, it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
We intend to conduct a little experiment.
That's right.
Enlighten us, please.
Okay. There is a YouTuber out there. So this is something I've put up on my website, benaylett.com. That's where you need to go. And a YouTuber, I'll just pull it up here, so I've forgotten his name already. But a nice fella who's done the right thing by us. And you know how you're sitting down and you're talking to a friend.
Yep.
And yeah, you talk about a certain subject, and this is a new subject you've never talked about before. You've never searched for it before. And when you then jump onto your computer and you go into social media, or you go onto Google, or you start looking around, you'll start to see ads popping up on that particular thing, which was, it's something we've all noticed, but we've all just written it off going, it's just coincidence. But this fella, Mitch Hollow, so a big thanks to Mitch Hollow for doing this experiment. He actually conducted the experiment where he started off and he said, now I've never talked about this subject before. He wrote it on a piece of paper and held it up to the camera.
That's right, so you could see the subject he was going to talk about.
That's right, and he proved it by opening up a few browsers and looking at the ads there, and the ads were not related to that special subject he was talking about. And then he spent the next 5-10 minutes talking about that subject, and then he did the same thing. He closed down all of his browser windows, opened them up again, and started looking at the ads. And the ads, well, they started displaying the thing that he was talking about. Not all of them, but there was a definite increase, and it was something you couldn't ignore. So it was actually really fascinating to see this unfold. So I think just for fun, we might do the same thing. So we, because Chris and I, we're kind of entrenched in the things that we like, I don't know, it's going to be hard for us to think of something that's outside of our interest areas. So we might call on the listeners to call in with a topic that might not be.
Yep.
And we'll try and pick a decent topic.
Yeah, something, so we're talking about which you may be interested.
Yep.
That somebody would try and market something to you at a commercial level.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So there's no good stuff Ben and I have talked about. It's well known. There's no wow factor. So it's something completely out of left field.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we want is that obviously it must be something decent.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to
be fit for radio.
Talk about smart or anything like that. But something that certainly is probably arguably something that Ben and I wouldn't have talked about.
Yeah.
At 92211 give Jess a call.
Yes.
And we're talking about something that you would not ordinarily, so something that you know about and that you would be interested in talking about.
Yeah.
And we will start talking about it. We're going to conduct a little experiment. So whatever it is, give us a buzz.
Yeah.
Is your word on the street?
Vulcan Road and Bannister Road, County Vale, been a serious accident.
On 882 6PR, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
Yeah, Ben Aylett here. By the way, if you want to get in contact with Ben, you can do so. It's benaylett.com is the website. 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett. G'day, Chris.
Yep. Yep. Yes. Yes.
I'm a bit older than him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, you do pay for it. That's why that's why they have all your information, right? No,
Yeah.
because he knows people wouldn't do that, and he doesn't need people to do that. And the thing is, he's not going to make anywhere near as much. Trust me, he's making more than $40 or $50 a year from having you and the collective billion people like you on Facebook, isn't he, Ben?
Absolutely, he is making money hand over fist. Now, getting on to what would happen if Facebook shut down.
Something else would pop up and take its place.
Something probably would. And you know, you've also taken into consideration that Facebook also owns Instagram and WhatsApp and a few other services that we use that we don't realise are owned by Facebook. So even if those were to go away, give it a few weeks and someone will have something ready to go.
Even services like Twitter are collecting your information.
Yep. Yeah, they sure are.
So, I mean, they've talked about Facebook, but all the social media services are collecting information. And let's be candid, most people are handing it over quite willingly.
Yes, yeah, they are. So it's something, you know, I think you're right, I don't think we'll see it happen, but it's an interesting thought experiment. What would happen? I mean, what would the next social networking site look like? How would we control our information? How would we establish that trust? And how would we treat it differently? Okay, that's a good one. What would we do differently if we did a Facebook 2.0?
Can I just say, I think the answer would be very little.
Maybe, but I'm pretty sure there's people with ideas out there about what would make Facebook 2.0 better than Facebook 1.
But it's already been an evolving process.
Yeah.
When the bottom line is, we talk about the fact that we have this great concern about the information. But the one fundamental principle that still holds true and has always held true is the old line about there being no such thing as a free lunch. Exactly. If you are not paying for a service and you're not paying for social media, therefore the currency is you. And what you represent to it collectively with all other people vis-a-vis advertising revenue. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's a business. It's in it to make money. And there are ways that it makes money. And part of the ways it makes money is it uses information about you and other people to collectively and individually select advertisers. That's how it works. Bottom line, would people pay for the service? No, they wouldn't. Would they want you to pay for the service? No, because as part of a collective, you're far more valuable to them.
Well, that's right. Yeah, so it's the idea of a paid social networking service. Yeah, I can't see it happening.
No, people wouldn't pay.
Yeah, the precedent's already been set. We're already used to getting something for nothing, and I think a lot of us understand that we are handing over something that's not money, but we're handing over something else that's probably way more valuable than money, and it's our personal information.
Personal information. And let's be honest, most people are doing it quite freely.
Yeah, they are. A lot of people are doing it quite freely. So we all understand that we are having information collected on us, and there's billions and billions of bytes of data out there that's being kept on us, and we are being tracked. We are being listened to, which I think this is going on to our experiment we'll be doing later on.
All right. Well, I think we need to do our experiment.
Yeah, let's get cracking. Yeah, we are going to run out of time if we don't get onto it.
So if you'd like to do 922118882, something in which you may be interested. Right?
Yep.
We don't care whether it's goods or service. That's the only thing. It must be goods or services in which you may be interested.
Yes.
Right? The reason why we want to do this is we want to remove the possibility that it would be something that Ben and I may logically be interested in.
Yep.
And so therefore information would be there.
Yeah, so if you've got a hobby that is not golf, not surfing, not surf life saving, or what else?
Not aeroplanes.
Not planes, okay.
Not trains.
All right.
And not cars.
Not cars, okay. So if you've got a topic of interest that you can come on air and tell us about your area of expertise or interest, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we'll have a chat about it.
Absolutely.
922118882. It might be something that you'd like to buy.
Yeah.
Something specialised that you would like to buy.
Educate us.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we want to have a chat about it.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason. We'll tell you about the experiment in a moment.
G'day, it's Nosy and Bash on the Drinky Show. We asked the question, should a tavern be allowed to
It's
take
nails.
Why don't they try to-
Cosmetics. Yeah, cosmetics are a good one.
Stuff like that that are doing more harm to our environment and our native animals than some are feeding kangaroos.
I keep forgetting to do this. It sounds like a beauty.
jeff.com. Just jump online and find all of his contact information there.
That's right.
All right, we're about to conduct a little experiment, and Jeff is going to help us do it. Hi, Jeff.
There you go. Now, before we get started.
Before we get started, I want Ben to explain. So I'll just get you to hold on a second, Jeff.
Okay. So
I want Ben to explain exactly what it is and exactly what we intend doing.
Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to determine if Google is actually listening to everything we're saying. Now, I don't have a search page open at the moment. I've got my computer plugged into the audio system at the studio, so whatever we're saying on air, the computer is listening to and picking up and recording and then streaming through to YouTube, but it's not actually, we're not influencing it outside of what's being said on air. Now, as I've started the experiment, I've opened up Gumtree, and it's showing an ad for NRMA insurance. We've also opened up the New York Daily News, and they're trying to sell me shoes. Don't know why. And then Air China, the Daily Mail is selling the privileged access management. Okay, more shoes and dresses. Awesome work, by the way. Yeah, and open houses, Roman Catholic Diocese. Okay, so it looks like a funeral service.
I was say, it's either selling you God or funerals. I can't work out which.
Oh, okay. So shoes, dresses, and funerals.
So,
and
so
insurance.
bottom line is we've got a whole variety of things that it's selling us.
Yeah.
Now we know what Jeff is going to be talking about. We're going to be having a conversation with Jeff.
Yep.
Now explain what you suspect. And once again, I've seen that thing online that you talked about.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Explain what you believe potentially will happen.
Yep.
When we have the conversation we're about to have with Jeff.
Yeah. Now, if this turns out to be true, I expect to open up these same pages again. So I'm going to close these pages in a few minutes.
Yep.
And then we're going to be talking about Jeff's subject. And then after that, I'm going to be reopening these pages, and we'll see if these advertisements change to reflect what we've been talking about. Now, I haven't searched on the internet for what Jeff is about to talk about.
All right, Jeff.
So here we go. Clean
Now,
slate.
If I'm not mistaken, we are about to talk about CB radio, specifically 27 megahertz CB radios. What's that? Well, actually, I got to dispute that with you. I thought the 27 megahertz were either 18 or 23 channels, and the UHF were 40 channels.
Right.
Ah, which means they must have opened a few channels up. That was a 23 channel CB radio, right?
Uh-huh.
LSB.
Yep. Yep. So.
Wow.
Okay. So these CB radios, yeah, so this CB radio that you're thinking about, is this one that's mounted in a car, or is it a stationary one?
Well, they could be either.
Can be
Yeah.
a mobile or base station.
That's right.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
CB radio, mobile or base
station. That's right. And then we'd obviously need an antenna.
Yep. And when I was a kid,
yep,
there was a friend of mine who had a CB radio on his dragster bike, and he used to call himself Slow Mobile. He ran it off a motorbike battery. The CB radio worked really well, I might add.
That would have been
And it
a
had
dog
an
to pedal on.
antenna and the whole bit on it. No. He had upper and lower side band as well. Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're basically CB radio was
CB
basically
radio.
a glorified two-way. There is a reason why I'm saying CB radio so much.
Really? CB radio?
Yeah, there is a purpose to it.
Yeah, that's right. We're
No, you wouldn't think there's so much around, would you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
CB radios. People are still interested in them.
Yeah. I wonder if we were to talk about a particular brand, if that had made
Well,
a
I'll tell you
difference.
what, I had one. I don't know if they'd still have it. When I was a kid, I had one. I saved up and bought one.
Yeah.
Which it was actually a mobile that I used as a base. It was
Right.
an HMV Roadhound TX77.
HMV Roadhound.
TX77, yeah.
Okay. Right. Yep. And so what about the more recent brands that would be selling CB radios?
See, most of these now be old.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, no, we won't worry about that.
It's all right.
We want to keep you on the line, mate.
That's right. We've been talking about these.
Riveting conversations.
CB radios. So what we'll do now is we'll get
Yes.
you to shut down.
Yep, I've closed down the browser.
All right.
So my web browser has been closed all this time.
Yep.
So we're going to see.
Fire it up.
Good.
Fire it up.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to fire up all those 4 pages.
Wonder what we're going to find here, Jeff.
I wonder.
I mean, look, I have to say, the experiment that I saw on YouTube was really interesting.
It really was, yeah. It's fascinating.
You'll have to reload them, won't you, so the old cache doesn't...
Yeah. Yeah, no, thanks very much for it, Jeff. I appreciate it. Okay, here we go. It's slowly starting up. Oh, here we go. Come on. All right. So Gumtree is loading.
Yeah.
Did I mention I need a new laptop?
No, you didn't, but... What's that, Jeff? We can hardly hear you, mate. Your phone's a bit funny. Yeah, I think what it is it's common words it uses to pick up and it hones in on those.
Yeah. So CB radio, CB radio, CB radio. No, I don't. Well, I think it might be the Chrome or the Firefox web browser that's sitting in the background. So what they do is they usually keep it in the background, even though we've closed the window, just so it's easier to. That's the theory. That's the theory. Yeah.
That's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to find out. What we'll do is I'll get Ben to bring those up, and in the meantime we'll take a break.
Sorry, mate.
That's all right.
Come on. Move it.
Always a problem when you.
All right. Come on. Come on. Okay, so Gumtree's let me down. So hang on.
Yeah.
No? Yeah, maybe. I've done a refresh.
Yeah, you have to refresh it.
Daily Mail is advertising bags. Genuine leather sort of sling bag thingies. Okay. All right, the Herald News is advertising some urology specialists.
Maybe it figures if you like CBs, you're that bloody old, you might need a urologist.
Well, we could draw that line. Come on. Come on, New York Daily News. Still loading. Come on.
One of our lucky winners. Homestart. We are the first home buyer specialists. Builders registration number 6415.
There's a new player in town. A new sound in sport.
All right, anyone listening on the stream, I apologise for the language. I had the wrong audio channel switched on. Sorry about that.
Session.
Take your mark.
Macquarie Sports Radio. 60R Sports Station. Macquarie Sports Radio on digital. All sports, all the time.
WA Hino has Perth's best selection of new trucks, used trucks,